Welcome back to the cottage, everyone, on this peaceful spring day. I don't know about you, but I am ready to make some changes for spring. It has been the most beautiful, simple transition away from winter this year. We had an extremely mild winter. In fact, there were only 3 snow events that I remember throughout the entire winter, which is pretty much unheard of here in Minnesota. And all of that snow melted away before February, or at the very beginning of February, and we haven't got any more. So it seems like a very big positive, and it is. We've all enjoyed this winter, but the downfall is that now the ground is super dry because we're used to getting all of that moisture throughout the winter months. And so we have been praying for rain, especially for the farmers in our area, because we know that they need that moisture. So right now there's no leaves on the trees, the grass is brown, it's kind of looking a little gloomy outside. My parents spent some time in Arizona recently and sent us back a big box of oranges. They smell so good, and their vibrant color is giving me a little bit of inspiration to kind of kickstart the spring decorating process. So until the color starts blooming outdoors, I'm happy to bring it to the inside. One of my favorite things to do with the change of the seasons is to do a little rearranging. Mainly that's the furniture in the living room only, but in the spring and then again in the fall, we also change out our master bedroom furniture arrangements. And thankfully my husband and sons had a little time today to help me out because I can't do this on my own. The bed takes all 4 of us to move it. It's not really heavy, but it has these little feet supports underneath it that get caught on the rug, so I can't just kind of twist it on my own. So we need to lift the entire thing up. Another furniture swap we make every 6 months or so is the small tables that we have in our house. This white one is used almost exclusively for puzzles throughout the winter, and then when the weather starts to warm up, we bring it upstairs to the girls' bedroom so that they can do arts and crafts projects on it, and then we bring down this bright orangish red colored table, which is a little bit smaller. There is just something so simple yet impactful about moving furniture around. I don't know what it is, it just seems to transform a space so quickly. And not only that, but I also find that I'm able to do a more thorough cleaning this way. Basically, moving around furniture ensures that all those dust bunnies get captured, and then I wipe things down that I normally wouldn't have wiped down on a regular basis cleaning. And so it does allow me to do a little bit more of a thorough, deep cleaning. I still get questions about these blue chairs. They are not heirlooms that have been passed down through family lines or anything like that. Basically, I spotted them one day at the Habitat for Humanity Restore in our area, and if you have one of those in your community, I would definitely encourage you to check them out for furnishings because they usually have some really unique pieces there. But these chairs were $30 for the pair of them, which was a huge deal, and they're actually surprisingly comfortable too. Our whole family really likes them. Sometimes though, I feel like they make my decorating efforts a little bit more difficult because they do affect what color palettes I'm able to choose. Since they are more of a bold color, then other colors that I might want to use sometimes will clash with them. So that's kind of a trade-off, I suppose. Changing out the blanket on the back of the couch is something else I like to do, and I know that technically this blanket does add a level of fussiness, and a person might argue that that's not very minimal, but I have never liked the way that the back of this couch looks with the 3 separate cushions. It sort of looks too modern for my liking. So in my mind, it actually simplifies the overall look of the couch by adding a blanket. It makes it look a little bit more streamlined and simple. And I know that probably doesn't make sense to all of you, but that's just my preference. That's the way I like to have it. But I have to say that it is such a joy for me to try out new little things here and there, decor-wise. I might not always follow any sort of interior design best practices, but I do what feels right and comfortable for myself and my family and what I think looks good. For example, I played around with the idea of adding these green pillowcases to the couch. I kept them like this for a little while just to see what I would think as I kind of walked by the room, and ultimately I decided that I didn't like the way that they looked with the other nearby colors, including those blue chairs. It was maybe just a little too much of a rainbow for my liking, I guess, but I wouldn't have known that if I didn't try. So homemaking gives me that freedom to really explore my creative side. I do like to take short breaks while I'm decorating to see if I'm going to like things a certain way or other, and also to allow myself to come up with additional ideas. I'm not in any huge rush to get it all done in a set time frame, and even if it takes me more than a day to get it just right, I'm totally okay with that. So while I'm thinking, I'm going to go head outside and clean up the outdoor chairs that sit on our porch during the warmer months. These are vintage metal chairs that my parents bought us as kind of a housewarming gift when we first moved to the cottage, and we keep them in the garage over the winter. And as you can see, they are covered with this thin layer of sawdust from various projects that we worked on throughout those winter months. So I'm just going to scrub them up a little bit and rinse them off. It's probably not quite warm enough to sit out here on the porch just yet, but bringing this furniture and the big rug outside frees up some space in the garage. And also, I just think it looks really cute set up out here. And so now all that's missing are the bright, colorful flowers that will be coming soon. Back inside, I'm ready to set some more decorations up, and it's amazing to me how something as simple and practical as a bowl of fruit can add interest and change the vibe of a space. Basically, I'm a believer that anything you are inspired by can become decor inspiration. Rocks, books, cookware. Find a creative way to display it and you will smile every time that you catch a glimpse. Gardening is on my mind right now, so decorating with seed packets seems like an obvious choice, and I'm really loving all of these bright colors. You'll notice while I'm decorating that I use the same items over and over again, but in different locations and different ways. This wood crate was something that we found in an old shed years and years ago at a home that we used to live at, and it has been one of my absolute favorite pieces ever since. I had it placed on the table during the winter months filled with pine cones and a cozy candle, and now I'm moving it to the piano area and it's going to be a base for a new display. I haven't used our vintage globe in a while, and since the girls are studying North America in homeschool right now, it seems fitting to bring it out. It doesn't take much effort at all to give our bedroom a different look. That's a benefit of having a smaller space, is that little things make huge impacts. Just a little bit of bedding change and the room looks refreshed. Notice that I decided to use those green pillowcases in here after all, and I think they look better and make a bigger statement in this space. We are still super happy with the way our bedroom makeover turned out. That was about a year ago already, which is crazy. And I'll link to that video if you haven't seen it yet. I think that the before and after transformation is pretty incredible. And I'm excited to make more upgrades like this to the house as the years go on. If you watched the recent house tour video, you probably noticed that I pointed out quite a few projects that we have in mind, but we aren't in any rush. We want to enjoy the journey of adding those little personal touches and giving our home its own special personality. Another thing that I am enjoying taking my time with and learning is my garden. I had never in my life had a garden until we moved here nearly 4 years ago, and it has definitely been a learning experience for me. Each year I try to plant something new just to see if I can make it grow, and also to encourage me to make up some new recipes for my family to try. And I learned the hard way last year that some things need to be started indoors as seedlings or there won't be a long enough growing season for them where I live. My poor cabbages that I planted last year got frosted over and it was so sad. So I'm being proactive this year and planting some seeds with this starter kit. It's absolutely incredible how something as small as a tiny little seed, smaller than a grain of rice, can grow into a huge plant that offers up food that we can eat. And that whole life cycle and the beauty and miracle of life is so evident when you have a garden. I've got them all warm and snug here on the windowsill for now, and will hopefully be able to plant them in the ground in the next couple of months. One last look at the finished up decor in the cottage. To me, it's bright and cheerful and really does lift my spirits, gets me excited about spring and the new life that is to come. Green grass, beautiful flowers. I love that we live in an area that gets all 4 seasons pretty dramatically. It always gives us something to look forward to. Hopefully you are all having a lovely early spring as well. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I hope that you'll stop by the cottage again really soon.